Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy, Nate Weitzer, holding it down on the East Coast. And we are on the West Coast for tonight's Clippers and Warriors matchup in Golden State. Nate will be looking at a couple of the best bets there, some player props that we're looking at. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard is not there and won't be for the season, most of it anyway, for the Clips. So we'll be looking at some of that stuff. But if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area. Some nice early season offers for new users as well if you have yet to sign up. So make sure you get in there and take advantage of that. Nate, let's jump into all things Dubs and Clippers tonight.
The Warriors are 3.5-point favorites after they came back to beat the ancient Lakers on opening night. The total is 227.5. For me, that's a huge question mark because basically we don't know what the Clippers are going to do in general over a larger sample size. Really one of the most interesting teams to look at preseason, projected to win 45 games. People could go either way on that because of the Kawhi absence, but some people are going way low. Some people are like us. We're saying, I still think they can win 46. As far as winning the opener in Golden State, I do not think so. This is going to be quite an environment for their true opener in the Chase Center, which is a beautiful arena. And even without a lot of fans last season, went 25-12 at home. They've been hot since Steph Curry went supernova at the end of last year. They've covered 8 of their last 9 now, and 5 of the last 6 have gone over at home. So it is intriguing to take over if you want to go that route. But the Clippers have defended them well, and I don't put that all on Kawhi necessarily. His regular season defense has not been truly elite for the last couple seasons, to be honest. I mean, he's definitely above average, but it's not like you take him out of that lineup and Paul George and company can't still play good wing defense. Yeah. And 3 of the last 5 meetings between these teams have gone under. So, again, staying away from that. But I do think that the Warriors at this point looking much more like a complete team. I mean, we haven't seen what the Clippers look like, but they looked great with the additions of Iggy, rejuvenated Iggy, and Nemanja Bjelica, who is going to be a nice small ball 5 for them to use alongside Draymond. Still gave them a decent rebounding edge, which is why mea culpa, we thought the Lakers would dominate them, but they did a decent job on the boards, and I think that they get it done tonight at home.
Yeah, it seems to to be the feeling right now with this team. I mean, you talked about Steph torching it and carrying this team, dragging them to a play-in game last year. The first game of the season was very uplifting for a ton of Warriors fans just because of how they won. I mean, Steph and Jordan Poole both shot really poorly from 3, and didn't really pour in, an incredible offensive performance in that game, yet they still beat the Lakers, who were at full strength, right? And I mean, the Lakers have a little bit of a lot to figure out, but I do think they will. And I think that makes the win by the Dubs in that one a little bit more impressive. Even so, you mentioned my guy Nemanja, 15 points, 11 boards, 4 assists in that opening game, and I think he's going to be a very underrated ad. Warriors fans have been telling us this preseason that Nemanja is going to step it up for them because it's been pretty much never that they've had a tall shooting and facilitating big man like Nemanja. I mean, Andrew Bogut was a facilitator, from the high post, but he definitely wasn't a shooter, right? So the fact that he can stretch it out and then put the ball on the floor and distribute, very underrated. I've been waiting for him to get out of Sacramento. Then he went to Miami where he stunk it up. And I think he's back on a team that knows how to use him with the way that they run their motion offense, with everybody getting involved. So spacing is going to be huge for them. It's tough for me to take the under when you look at how well these teams both shoot it. They both play at a decent pace. And I think, you're going to see the Clippers continue to shoot well. I don't think Kawhi was, the main reason that they were able to shoot so well. It's that every single person, around anywhere on their lineup could shoot, including Ibaka and Batum, who played a lot of 5-4 together. Both of them are out tonight. Another reason to really, really like the Warriors. You're going to see a ton of Luke Kennard. You're going to see some Brandon Boston Jr. You're going to see a ton of Terrence Mann. There's not going to be too many guys that are going to be coming off the bench for the Clippers that are going to be able to hang with the Warriors, who have done a decent amount to beef up their roster, including a couple of rookies that I think can come out and perform tonight. So I'm staying away from the total just because I don't know how these teams are going to come out shooting and firing, and it's really about whether or not they make their threes, since they both shoot so many. They were both in the top 3 in three-pointers made last year and in the top 10 in three-point percentage. We know that the Clippers had that historic 41% shooting from the three-point line as a team last year, which is insane. But the Dubs they do play defense well, and that's something that we've seen. If they have the offense to go with it, they're top 5 team in the West for sure, right? And I don't think the Clippers can hang with them.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi was a big part of that. He shot a career high 56.8% effective field goal percentage to carry the Clips to that third best effective field goal rate, and really probably opened things up with his mid-range game. I think they still have good three-point shooters, to your point, but I don't know if Paul George has the same kind of softening effect by drawing in extra defenders. He's not a post-up player the way Kawhi is. I do have concerns about them being able to replicate that 41% from three. And to prove that their avalanche of points against the Jazz wasn't just a fluke, wasn't just, good adjustments and kind of momentum taken over against a team that's struggled in the playoffs recently. They do have a lot to prove in that regard. And speaking of a lot to prove, your favorite guy to dump on, Eric Bledsoe, is going to have to carry the load for this Clippers team. He's going to have to attack the rack. He will be playing alongside Reggie Jackson. They will probably slide Mann and George up to the 3-4 to try to go small against this Warriors team for sure. Bledsoe has 16 points at least in 5 of his last 6 trips to Golden State. His props are very low because he just had a poor kind of per minute showing with the dysfunctional Pelicans last year, playing with Lonzo Ball. That's an awkward fit there. So I do like him to get over a scoring prop, which is just 12.5 points. Or if you want the bulk stats, 19.5 points, rebounds, assists. I think with the minute allotment, he will get there, and the pace that the Warriors like to play at home, that's a pretty safe one. And Jordan Poole, you mentioned, really heated up in the second half, and he'll probably stay hot going into this one. So I'll let you take your boy there and talk about his props.
Yeah, I would take Jordan Poole, continue to, I said it before, the first game, take his over in points. This is a similar situation where it's the beginning of the season. The belief in Jordan Poole is not there yet outside of the Bay Area, including Vegas, who's going to continue to keep his props too low, in my opinion, until we start realizing, no, especially until Klay Thompson comes back, he's going to average 18 to 20 points a game alongside Steph Curry, because Steph's going to keep looking for him and he's going to keep firing. And as we mentioned, they both shot poorly and still had over 20 points. Jordan Poole's point total is just 16.5 points, or 17.5 at FanDuel, actually. So I would actually go ahead and take the 17.5 at FanDuel, get slightly better odds than you do on DraftKings for 16.5 points. And then the other guy that I mentioned already, Nemanja, and I know we just want to keep talking about him so we could say his name, but Nemanja is someone that I think is legit, as we said. I've been a huge fan for a while, and the Warriors seem to be as well. He had, as we mentioned, 15, 11, and 4 in game 1. His point prop is at 9.5 points. So if you think he's going to get 10 points, that's a pretty easy bet there, and that you get actually plus money, or about even to slightly over money on your bet there for 9.5 points for him. And then the triple, the points, rebounds, and assists for him is at 17.5. Right, if you like, he's going to continue to be backup center, starting, playing with the starting line. He's going to get a ton of minutes all over the place at the 5, sometimes the 4. But really, when him and Draymond are out there, 2 facilitating big mans that can guard guys that are bigger than them with their strength, he's going to get plenty of playing time. He's going to be close to 10 boards again, in my opinion. If he's close to 10 boards, why would I not take that 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists? As we've seen, he can facilitate as well. Mm-hmm. Get used to hearing Nemanja spoken about on this show. And then
it's
one more
silent J though on the first name. If it's Bjelica, it's Nemanja.
Nemanja?
Yeah.
But so much more fun as Nemanja. But
right.
That's fine. No offense, man.
Yeah,
Nemanja. Either way, get used to us saying his name correctly or incorrectly. And then the other guy with a fun name to say, Ivica Zubac. right? My guy right there is going to be playing more minutes than I think he saw last season as well. There's really nobody behind him to come in and shore up that defense this year for the Clips. So I think you can consider him a nice bet for a potential double-double. He's averaged about 7 boards and almost 8 points a game against the Warriors in his career. And that has been only playing 16 minutes a game. So I think we can expect him to play a lot closer to 25 to 30 and get over those 10 rebounds and definitely 10 points with, a much smaller guy guarding him throughout the game, even if it is Kevon Looney. And that is all the time that we have for today's show. You guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe to that video and page if you're liking some of the winners. We've been pretty hot so far in our first couple of slates of games here. Going to look to keep that trend going as we move into this fun little Thursday night slate. And until we see you guys again, happy betting.